My dad called me. I've given your stepsister the money from the house you sold. She's very grateful to you. I didn't say anything. I just came the next day. My dad called me on a Thursday afternoon while I was finishing paperwork at the office. His voice sounded unusually upbeat. Ryan, I just wanted to tell you that Megan is incredibly grateful. I frowned. For what? For the money, he said. She called me crying. She said she couldn't believe you'd help her like that. I leaned back in my chair. What money? The money from the house you sold. For a second, I honestly thought he had called the wrong person. A few months earlier, I had sold a rental property that came from my mother's side of the family. After taxes, fees, and closing costs, I walked away with a little over $250,000. The money was sitting in a separate account while I decided what to do with it. Nobody else owned any part of it. Not my dad, not my stepmother, and definitely not my stepsister Megan. Dad, I said slowly. What are you talking about? There was a pause. Then he laughed. Come on, Megan already thanked you. I ended the call. Immediately, I logged into my banking account. At first, I thought there had to be some mistake. Then I saw the transfers, one after another. Large withdrawals spread across several weeks. My stomach dropped. Nearly $180,000 was gone. I called the bank. Within an hour, I had confirmation that the transfers had been authorized through credentials connected to my account. The only person besides me who had ever been given emergency access years ago was my dad. Back when I traveled overseas for work. Back when I trusted him, I spent the rest of the night collecting records. Every transfer led to the same place. Megan, a condo down payment, credit card debt, a new SUV, wedding expenses. My inheritance had become her financial rescue package. The next morning, I drove straight to my dad's house. I didn't call ahead. I didn't text. I simply showed up. Everyone was sitting in the kitchen when I walked in. Dad, my stepmother, Megan, even her fiance. Coffee mugs sat on the table. People were smiling. They looked like a family celebrating something until they saw me. I dropped a thick folder onto the table. The room immediately became quiet. What is this? My dad asked. I opened the folder. Bank statements, transfer records, account activity logs. Every document was neatly organized. You took money from me. Dad's jaw tightened. Don't start accusing people. Then explain the missing $180,000. Nobody answered. My stepmother finally spoke. It was for Megan. As if that makes it better, she needed help. I looked at Megan. She couldn't even look at me. Dad folded his arms. You had more than enough. That sentence hit harder than I expected. Not because of the money, because it explained everything. In his mind, my success meant my property wasn't really mine. It was family property whenever someone else wanted it. I pulled another document from the folder. A legal filing. Dad's face changed instantly. What is that? A lawsuit. The silence that followed felt heavy. You sued your own family? He asked. No, I said. I sued the people who stole from me. I left before anyone could stop me. The legal process wasn't quick, but it was straightforward. The records were clear. The money trail was clear. There wasn't much to argue about. What surprised me was discovering how many relatives had been told a completely different version of events. My dad had apparently spent months telling people that I willingly gave Megan the money as a gift. That story fell apart the moment attorneys started requesting documents. Family members stopped calling, not because they were angry with me, because they finally understood what had actually happened. Several months later, we entered mediation. The settlement forced repayment of almost everything. The condo had to be refinanced. Assets were sold. Accounts were emptied. Money slowly came back. The relationship never did. Not once during the process did my dad apologize. Not once did he admit what he had done. After everything was finalized, he sent me a text. Just 6 words. Hope all this was worth it. I stared at the message for a minute, then I deleted it. A year later, I heard that relatives no longer trusted him with financial matters. Nobody added him to accounts anymore. Nobody shared passwords. Nobody asked him to manage anything important. His reputation disappeared long before the money did. The last time we spoke, he called unexpectedly. There was a long silence after I answered. Finally, he asked, "Are you really never coming back?" I looked around my living room, my home, my life, the peace I had built after everything settled. Then I answered, "You didn't just give away my money." Another silence. "You gave away my trust." I ended the call. He never called again. And strangely enough, that was the moment everything finally felt settled.